Welcome back now as we turn our attention to Cross River State, where the governor, Ben Ayade, has again made history by expanding the State Executive Council from 13 to 28 members, inaugurating the EXCO members 6 months after his assumption into office at the EXCO chambers in Calabar, the state capital. The governor charged them on the need to be creative and dedicated to the task of improving the lot of the people of the state. He charged the new intakes to take the opportunity given them to serve as a sacred one, bearing in mind that history will beckon on them on their legacy years from today. Speaking on behalf of the newly inaugurated commissioners, the Youth and Sports Commissioner assures of total commitment to assigned responsibilities.
Charge you, and I am not ready to run and manage any ministry. You have your total freedom. I'm going to run a Japanese management style. I'm going to be eyes on and hands off. I'm not involved in your ministry. I will just sit back and watch. As I watch with a bird's eye view, hoping that when you go wrong, some bit of a calibration may be advised. Today, Cross River State is assuming a national dimension in character, in content, and even in spread. This is real, this is true. That is the same way I want you to drive your ministry, so that your own ministry becomes a celebrated ministry.
Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade. Now, farmers in Osai Berku community in Umahia North local government area of Abia State are lamenting the deplorable condition of the road network, which they say is hampering business opportunities. Although the area is known for the production of palm products and palm oil, the development of trade remains limited as traders from other areas face a lot of challenges to reach these communities.
The African Development Bank Group website has it that an estimated 34% of rural Africans live within 2 kilometers of an all-season road, compared to some 65% in other developing regions. It also states that lack of rural road connectivity seriously constrains agricultural production, a problem faced by many farmers in Nigeria, where one community has had a bad enough of the suffering emanating from the loss of farm produce and ultimately money. Osa Ibeku in Umahia North local government area in southeastern state of Abia is known for the production of palm oil and palm products, but the community has nothing to show for this prowess.
Old women most times do fall into that gutter there. Sometime past, one elderly person also fell inside the gutter there and died. So this is what we'll be passing through. Most times for our children to go to school, they will also have to pass this area. So we're asking government to come to our aid. It will do us a lot of good. We're also supporting government projects.
We've sent a lot of SOS messages to the government to no avail. We have suffered a lot.
The road network is so bad that ties have been severed by other communities, forcing residents to seek self-help in order to remain relevant. Otherwise, it's a walk through the stream.
Now, this bridge you see here was constructed by ADP about how many years ago? About 11 years ago. 11 to 15 years ago. They abandoned it. You can see the bridge at the center of the stream. Here is water. There is no way you can go through here to the bridge. And beyond that, the other side of the bridge,
people also lament the manner in which the project to rehabilitate the road has been abandoned, a situation the Chief Press Secretary to the state government assures will be speedily addressed.
Already now, government has instructed the TC chairman to ensure that at least 10 rural roads are constructed within this, regraded within this dry season. So it's something that they're going to take place, in stages. After the work in the city, then we'll move to the rural areas. So no community should feel cheated, no community should feel annihilated. Government is well informed about the situation in those communities.
Until this happens, life for the residents in this community will remain one where all opportunities remain bleak.
The arraignment of the trustees of Synagogue Church of All Nations by a Lagos State High Court in Ikeja has been stalled following the absence of 3 out of 5 of the defendants. The defendants were due to have been arraigned over the collapse of a 6-story building in the church on September the 12th, 2014, which led to the death of 116 persons. The trustees were meant to have been arraigned before Justice Lawal Akakpo, alongside the engineers that constructed the collapsed building. A statement by the Deputy Director of Public Affairs of the Lagos State Ministry of Justice, Bola Akingbade, had earlier confirmed the scheduled arraignments, that is. Justice Ibrahim Buba of the Federal High Court in Lagos had dismissed the fundamental human rights enforcement filed by the engineers who constructed the collapsed 6-story building to stop the planned trial. The engineers, Mr. Oladile Ogundeji and Mr. Kimbella Fatiregu, had filed 2 separate suits before Justice Buba, seeking an order restraining the police from inviting, arresting, or prosecuting them over the victim's death. The Lagos State government had set up a coroner's inquest to unravel what went wrong, and via a verdict delivered on August the 7th, 2015, by Magistrate Oyetade Komolafe, the coroner had indicted the engineers of the Synagogue Church of All Nations building and recommended them for investigation and prosecution for criminal negligence. Now to the northwestern part of the country, Kaduna State Governor has asked for the people's input into the state's 2016 budget before it presents it to the State House of Assembly. The 2016 spending plans were presented to the people at a town hall meeting where they bared their minds on many issues. According to the governor, the budget is designed to be truly people-oriented, with less focus on government officials. Take a listen.
This is the first time in the history of Kaduna State that a governor is presenting the yearly budget to the citizens for their input before presenting it to the State Assembly. Governor Nasser El-Rufai says the proposed 2016 budget will give special attention to programs that will create more jobs for the citizens, improve social infrastructure, and ensure adequate security in the state. Some of the programs include intervention in school feeding, planting of economic trees, and waste collection.
This year also included in the budget is the availability of low-interest loans for our farmers generally, for small and micro enterprises, for rice production, commercial agriculture, as well as the introduction of a statewide private sector-driven tractor hiring scheme. Other flagship investments include the scaling up of Ayade Millennium Village project all across the state to replicate the success of Ayade Village in Kara local government and rural community.
According to the governor, Kaduna State's 2016 budget is different from all others, as it's designed to have a significant shift from spending huge resources on government officials to providing infrastructure and services to citizens.
The government used to use budget as secret issue because some of the budget we only hear them at the end of the day. That the governor is going to declare Kaduna is going to spend so many billions. Well, we don't know how we do it.
But I want to suggest here that we can create training avenues for our graduates, for secondary school leavers, and even for those that do not have access to school on short-term basis, on medium-term basis, and on long-term basis.
For emphasis, the governor told the gathering that salaries and allowances of political appointees would be cut down to reduce the cost of governance.
In the area of cost cutting, we are also deepening our program to discipline public expenditures and be clearer about our priorities. In 2014, for instance, the Ministry of Health got only 300 million naira in its capital budget. In 2016, the health sector getting more than 3 billion naira.
With the dwindling oil revenue, which has adversely affected federal allocation to states, the Kaduna State government says the 2016 budget would not be based on projections as before, but present realities of the state's economy.
And that's where we draw the curtains for this edition of News Across Nigeria. Many thanks for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.